Hey everyone, Keenan Gray here from DyeStat.com, bringing you another edition of DyeStat Discussions. An exciting week of collegiate cross country continues on through the year. And of course, the University of Utah is having such a phenomenal year, and they're going to continue their season up at the Dellinger Invitational this Friday in Eugene, Oregon. And one of their standout athletes, Erin Vringer, joins us here on DyeStat Discussions to talk about all things Utah Utes and just the remarkable season that they've been having so far this year. And of course, they've been ranked high as number 6 and potentially maybe even crack the top 5 here in the next coaches poll. But Erin, just give me a sense of where this program is at right now. I mean, especially after Nuttycombe just finishing second to a really good Washington Huskies team and really beating some really good competition out in Madison.
Yeah, it was just a super exciting performance for us, and we've been training for a couple months now. And yeah, our program's just built the past couple years, and I think we were really ready to come out and just see where we're at. And I think we're all really happy, and it's just the start of our season, so we're excited to see what happens later down the road.
Since joining the program a couple years ago, I know you're from Canada, and obviously that's a big move to come down from the Great North to Utah. Like, what have you seen as kind of been like the biggest change since you've joined this program?
Um, I would say just like the adjustment into university running and just the level of competition. I always try to remind our freshmen coming in that you don't need to be top of the pack coming in. Like it's a big adjustment with school and running, and it really takes a while for a lot of people to find their feet in the NCAA. And it also is just you have 4 more years, and it's really cool to just see people develop. And especially in Utah's program, I feel like we do a really good job of developing runners and yeah, just peaking at the right times and getting better after the 4 years.
What have you seen from yourself this last couple of years, whether it's, you grown as a runner, grown as a person, or like, what's some of the biggest things you've really seen about yourself that's kind of been a kind of reflection of what you've taken away from this program?
Yeah, I think obviously the successes, you learn a lot, but I think it's been more the failures and the hard times in the last couple of years that have really like taught me the most. I redshirted last cross country season with an injury, so I feel like that gave me a really good perspective of the sport and my body and my mind. And since coming back from that injury, I feel like I've just been able to appreciate being in the sport more and being in the program that I'm at and having all the support I do. So I think that just like your perspective of sport really changes throughout your journey in the NCAA. And yeah, mine's been a really cool one, and I'm really enjoying running and racing right now and being part of the team.
So talk about that setback a little bit. I know, for a lot of athletes, when they do get injured, it does take a little bit of time to get back, but some ways these injuries are kind of blessings in disguise. And I look at, finishing sixth at Nuttycombe, and it's like, all right, like something good must have come out of this injury and things are getting better. So what can you tell us a little bit, just kind of this last year and what you've kind of just grown and learned about yourself as an athlete?
Yeah, I think I've just learned a lot about what my body needs training wise, but then I think just like the mental shift has been the biggest thing, zooming out and just like seeing how much you love the sport. And like when you're not able to participate, you really realize like how big how big of a part of your life it is. And I feel like I've also discovered that like you're so much more than a runner too. So that has really helped me like have a balance in college. And yeah, it just has, since my injury, I've been just stacking weeks on weeks of quality training. And I feel like I just really trusted the process and trusted that everything was going to work out. And I'm glad that I did stick in there because, yeah, I've been having a lot of success, and kind of like becoming a full circle of that injury. Obviously, you never want to get injured. That sucks. But there's also a lot of benefits from taking a step back and being able to build your way back into fitness and health.
I'm sure you were able to take on a kind of a different role last year, being sidelined, being redshirted. You got to watch these ladies go to nationals. finish top 15 in the country, but then also realize, oh my gosh, we're bringing back a lot of these women for this year's team. So this makes me even more excited for what's to come. What did you kind of see from last year's group that, just kind of ended on such a high note at nationals? And maybe you guys even felt like you could have done a little bit better. Like what's the biggest takeaway from that group last year?
Yeah, it was so exciting to watch like their progress throughout the season, and I think like with every race they just built and got better and worked more as a team. And watching that from the sidelines was hard because I just wanted to contribute, but we have so much talent on our team. And yeah, we had a couple transfers last year, a couple freshmen that did really well. And it was just like exciting to see that, like, just like being patient throughout the season really paid off at nationals last year. And then looking forward to like what we could build to this coming year. And yeah, we just have like a great group. And I think what's the most fun about our team is, we all work super hard and we all have the same goal, but we also choose to like enjoy the process. And it just a lot of great energy from different people on the team. And it's always fun to show up to practice and train with the girls. And even the girls that aren't going to be on the line at hopefully nationals, they all help too. And we have a really deep team this year. And yeah, it's just been really fun to work with our team.
What does that kind of say about, the youth of the program? Because if I did my math correctly, I think I counted like three freshmen were on that nationals team last year, and obviously Anastasia Peters was one of those freshmen and was an All-American. Like, what have you seen just kind of from the underclassmen? And then I know you were part of that last year as a sophomore, but like you didn't get to like race alongside them. Like, what's it like at practice with them? And then now it's translated into the racing.
Yeah, I was so excited because I didn't get to train with Anna or the other freshmen, so I was really excited to work with them. But it was cool just to see like how excited they were to race and just kind of that energy they brought. Like they're just so excited about racing and the sport. And I feel like everyone that comes into our program is like sacrifices for our program and is like really built into what we stand for and in our team environment. So I think that has just gotten better over the years I've been here. And yeah, now training alongside them, like I was so excited to, yeah, be part of that. And yeah, we have so many types of runners on our team. So it's really fun to collab. And like with the 10K girls, I'm like at the back of the threshold group, and then with the speed stuff I'm pulling them with me, so we just work really well together. And yeah, it's a fun team. So
Seemed like the spring was kind of a building block to what we've already seen this fall. I mean, spring it seemed like just getting back into things. Obviously, you qualified for NCAA outdoors. Were a prelim. You were an honorable mention All American. Like, how did you kind of approach the spring season, knowing that you were going to be coming off this injury and just trying to get back to a way that Erin Vringer wants to be racing at?
yeah, I just really focused on enjoying the moment and being present, and not focusing on those results. I think that yeah, the more I focus on enjoying racing and enjoying the sport and leaning on the people that are there to support me, I just got better and better. And just being patient and just using those weeks of training and staying healthy is just most important for me. And then when I did get those chances to race with my teammates and with my family there watching, it was super exciting. And just made me proud that I worked hard while I was coming back from injury and was mentally just really positive about the whole experience.
Yeah. And you were fourth in arguably one of the deepest 1500s the Pac-12 has seen in a long time. I mean, that you look at that 1500 field that they had in Colorado, Chloe Forrester, Shalon Eilidis, Juliet Whitaker, like well, obviously one of them was at the Olympics. Like that in itself was a very big deal. What did you look at that those Pac-12 championships as kind of like was that a moment realize it's like wow, like I feel like I'm finally starting to get back to where I want to be.
Yeah, that was a really exciting race to be a part of. And I was definitely very intimidated with like such strong group of girls. And I've never really seen myself in that group with those names before. And Before the race was definitely dealing with a bit of nerves, and kept just kind of he really trusts me and believes in me, and like having that belief from him really helped me. Just like I just went out there and I was like, I can compete with these girls, and yeah, it was a cool race to be a part of, and I feel like mentally it kind of gave me a little bit of shift of like I can be up there, and yeah, a lot of it's just mental, like believing that you can do that, and putting yourself in those situations. It was really fun to do.
Not to mention the fact you also beat the third fastest all-time woman in the 1500 in collegiate history in Claudia Kazimierska. I want to give her flowers, of course. But so then it went Canadian Championships, and I know you made the final, finished 12th, took probably a little bit of a break. What did the summer look like? And just going back to Salt Lake, if you did that early on in the summertime, and just kind of getting prepared for this fall season.
Yeah, I went home for a couple weeks this summer and took a little break and was just doing, I'm a big cross trainer, so I was swimming a lot, ellipticaling a lot, and yeah, just trying to build my base, but also try to be mindful of staying healthy and not getting too excited. It's really easy in the summer to get ahead of yourself and just want to do it and get super fit right there, but looking farther down the line and having a goal to be at my fittest in November. So I definitely just enjoyed the running, came back to Salt Lake. Yeah, I just enjoyed running in the mountains a bit, and uh, met up with some teammates over the summer. And yeah, we were all really excited to get back here and start training and be together as a team again. We had a team camp up in Park City, and that was super exciting. And yeah, we just have a great group of girls, and yeah, this summer just used some time to rest and recover and get ready for a really exciting season.
Most schools and programs, they kind of have a message or some sort of mentality going in the season. Like, what was your guys' message from your coaches? Like, going is like, all right, this is what we're going to try to accomplish this year. This is what we're going to do, and this is how we're going to do it.
I think going into this year, we talked a lot about just believing in ourselves, and kept believes in all of us so much, and Charlie does too. And it's just getting that support from our coaches and then from each other. I think we all just wanted to go into the season doing it for each other. It's so fun to be part of the cross country team because it makes it such a team sport. And, on your rough days, you can do it for each other instead of yourself. And yeah, so our goal was just to work as hard as we can and enjoy the process and just build with every race we can and every workout and get to November healthy and ready to do the best we can do on the day.
So Utah enters the season ranked 14th in the preseason poll, and you guys go to Nuttycombe for your very first meet as a varsity team, 14th in the country. That was also your very first cross country race in almost 2 years. What was kind of like that whole week for yourself mentally? Just like, were you nervous? Were you excited? Was it a mixture of both? Because I'm sure there was a lot of things that just going on that entire weekend. It's like, all right, let's just get this race over with so I can have my rust buster out of the way.
Yeah, it was definitely like a little intimidating, my first 6K in a while, but I was mostly just excited. I think I hadn't raced yet, and we had been training for a good 1 to 2 months, so it was good to just finally see where we were at. And we knew that we were all really fit, and it was cool to just yeah, get back out there. And I was there at Nuttycombe 2 years ago. I feel like a very different level of running than I am at now, and it was just super exciting to be there with the team. And yeah, the week before was I would say more exciting. I feel like I was in a really good headspace, like thinking about just getting out there and racing, like not focusing on the result. I feel like we've just been working together as like racing as a team, staying together for as long as we can, and then when we get to that 4K mark, seeing what we can do. And it was definitely good to get the rust off and feel that cross country pain again. But So yeah, I think it was a good way to get the season going, and we've got a lot more improvement to do and a lot more racing to do too.
Well, there's an award for like the biggest improvement at the Nuttycombe Invitational, but you were 171st in 2022, and you finished sixth. Now, anybody that finishes in the top 10 at Nuttycombe, let alone top 20, you're immortalized for that meet. I mean, that's a huge accomplishment. So you talked about, seeing the difference of yourself. Obviously, you were a freshman in 2022, and now you're a sophomore this year. But like, what about that day went well? I mean, not even just for yourself, but the entire program. It seemed like everything was just clicking for Utah.
Yeah, I think just going into the race, like standing on the start line, we were all very relaxed and just confident in our fitness and just were curious of what we could do on the day. And for me, I was just grateful to be there and grateful to, be fit and be healthy and be able to put myself in the race. And it's really great when you can have teammates. We were kind of up near the front, and normally I'd be like, oh, I shouldn't be here. But having my training partners right there beside me, it made me more comfortable. And yeah, it was just, I knew that it was in there, but it was good to prove it to myself and just push myself and see what I could do. Um, I feel like that start line at Nuttycombe can be really intimidating. I remember my freshman year freaking out a bit about, that first 500 meters is pretty crazy, but knowing what to expect and going into it with the teammates all around me was really great. And yeah, that race just went really well and was able to stay positive throughout the course. So.
Take us through the race from your perspective. It looked like through the first 2 kilometers, you were in the top 25, then started working your way up with 4K to go. And then really that 1500 speed really carried you towards the end to finish in the top 10.
Yeah, my goal was just to get out in a good position. We didn't want to get too far back there, but just, top half of the field, top 20, and just stick together for as long as we could. So the first 2K was just all about positioning. And then from 2K to 4K, I have to thank my teammate, McKaylee Caesar. She was, I was trying to hold on to her for as much as I could, and I ended up able to stay with her. And a couple times I was like, oh, I might let her go, but I was like happy to have her, and she was encouraging me, and we ran together for a lot of the race. And just working hard through 2K to 4K, and then knowing once I got to 4K that the end was in sight. And once I get to 5K, I feel like I'm just like ready to go, ready to finish the race, and can always push through that last kilometer. So it was really fun to be back in cross country. It's been so long, so it's really exciting to get to compete against all these strong girls.
Exciting for me too because it didn't torrential downpour like it did last year, so it made for spectating way better to watch on a 75-degree day in lovely Madison, Wisconsin, which I know you didn't race at last year's meet and get to experience the rain, but it seemed like a lot of people really kind of were thriving that day. I mean, you talked about yourself, McKaylee, Katerina. I think I pronounced her. Hope I pronounced her name right. And then Morgan. But like even with like Anastasia Peters, who like I said was an All-American last year, didn't necessarily have her best day. You still had other women step up. So what did you see from kind of like the back half and like able to pick up some points for Anna and help her out later down the road?
Yeah, that's like I think where our team is going to have a lot of success. We have such a big group of girls that can do a lot of great things, and not everyone had their best race on that day. And luckily for us, we have so many girls that we can lean on each other for having a bad day. And even just looking at the B race, our group that raced in the B race performed so strongly, and I'm excited for us all to be together at Dellinger this weekend. But it was really cool to see some girls that have been injured in the past, like Lindsay and Emily, and come back, and Kasha and our whole squad just kind of pick up the slack and support, be there, for our teammates.
Yeah. And this is just, I would think if Anna's up in that top 25 mix, heck, even in the top 20 with you, maybe top 15, like could that score be a little bit closer to Washington instead of a 29-point swing? I mean, yes, Washington is a good team. They have a lot of great runners on the team, but Utah's proven to also have the depth on their team. So do you feel like that score is not necessarily the best indicator to tell us where this Utah team is at?
Well, I think it was just like our first race, first rust buster. Some people had great days, some people had B days, and that's okay. That's
Mhm.
always gonna. Obviously Washington has a really strong team this year, but definitely excited to race them again and see what we can do on a different day. Um, but yeah, I think out of our group of 5 to 7, like anyone could be our top runner. Anna is a really talented person, and yeah, an All-American last year, and she's just so gritty, and McKaylee too. So yeah, I think we have like all the pieces, and just we'll continue to keep working as a team and build each other up. And I'm excited to see what we'll do.
And there's no doubt in my mind that that Anastasia Peters will be able to be up there, like with yourself and McKaylee. Obviously proven to be an All American last year, but bad races happen. We move on. You learn about it. So, but this also earned you guys a top six nationally ranked moment for you guys. I mean, that's in itself is a huge deal for not just the program, but for like for the university, because in the state of Utah, I feel like the conversations BYU, BYU. It's always BYU. Why don't we talk about Utah a little bit here? And so how does what about that? Like, what does that mean to be now a top six program and potentially maybe even a top five, depending on what the rankings say here in the coming days?
Yeah, it's super exciting to be ranked so high in the polls, and I think we were all really excited about our performance at Nuttycombe, and we celebrated it. But I feel like we definitely controlled ourselves, and we're like, this is our first race. Being ranked high in the polls is really cool and builds confidence, but it also doesn't mean a whole lot to us. We want to be there in November and get the results and rankings in November that we want. So it is cool for our program to have these rankings and to like share these successes with our other teams at the school, but it's also just important for us to keep working hard and keep moving forward this season because there's so much more racing to do.
Yeah. And of course, kind of coming off that such a high performance for all you guys, you have Dellinger this week. And that's an opportunity for you guys to, prove yourselves once again. And it's expected that Oregon is going to have probably their top end runners. We didn't see a Maddie Elmore in Nuttycombe. We didn't see a Shalon, or we didn't even see a Claudia Kazmierska. We have no idea if we're going to see a Claudia this week, but like we could potentially see Maddie and Shalon. So how do you guys prepare for another road trip for you guys, but also like this is an Oregon team that you're familiar with. You were in the Pac-12. You guys have seen each other these last couple of years. Like, how do you prepare for a team like Oregon that also brought back a lot of women?
Yeah, they have a super strong team, and I've never been to Dellinger, but I know that's a great course and a very fast course. So I think we're just focusing on ourselves. We want to run together and get as many girls in the top 10, top 20 as we can, and um, yeah, just using this as a stepping stone into conference and just trying to build confidence. And yeah, they have some really talented runners, so it'll be good to push ourselves and just see what we can do against them.
So, what's the message then for you guys going to Dellinger? Whether it's for yourself individually, whether it's the team, like what's the biggest thing you guys want to get away from coming up here to Eugene?
I think we're mostly just focusing on working together and trying to, yeah, run our race as together as possible and use our strong team dynamic and just like the depth of our team to see what we can do against a strong Ducks team.
Sounds good to me. And obviously, after this one, it's kind of, gearing up for that conference championship season, regional season, which, if anything, it's more of a gauntlet for those two meets in a row with the Big 12 championships and Mountain region championships. But you look at the Big 12, and obviously it'll be a nice test to see what you guys are against BYU and Colorado. But really, I mean, obviously the big one is the Mountain region. And there's going to potentially be three teams in the top five this week that are from the mountain region. Like, what does that kind of just speak volume of how good the mountain region and even Northern Arizona is one of those teams that has improved a lot these last couple of years.
Yeah, I think there's just so many strong programs in the mountain region, and that race is always so exciting at altitude. And I think we all have very similar programs, and like NAU, we've been improving a lot over the past couple years, and yeah, that'll just be a good test to see where we are and race against a couple of the best teams in the country. So.
For sure. And how do you guys really kind of approach, with Big 12s and Mountain? Because like, I mean, it's a safe bet that this team is obviously going to make it, but it's always nice to finish in that top two part.
Yeah, going into Big 12s, it's our first season in Big 12, so I think that'll just be exciting. Get to race some new teams that we're not used to racing regularly. So I think, yeah, just putting our best foot forward there and just doing our best. And I think every race just leading up to nationals is going to be important, and learning from those races and building off them and just progressing forward. Yeah, it would be awesome to come top two in our region. However, it is a really hard region. So I think just, yeah, seeing what we can do on the day and hoping that, just believing that we're up there with those other teams and that we can compete with them, and relying on the depth of our team too.
Love to see a BYU Utah duel. I know they don't do that during the regular season, but I think that would be really exciting to watch that. What do you think?
Yeah, definitely a big rivalry in every sport with BYU. And yeah, they have such a strong team, and they're very renowned to be very good. So I think with our team improving, it's really exciting to challenge them and just test ourselves against a really good team.
I think the football team they play for a wagon wheel, or is it the Beehive boot? I think it's something. What would the Utah BYU rivalry play for? What or run for, I should say.
I'm not sure. Probably just bragging rights. That
No trophy?
I think that, yeah, Utah is just very divided with the Utah Utes and BYU. So I think, yeah, a win over them would be really exciting and just add to the hype a lot.
Definitely would love to see that dual meet. And of course, love to see more success from the Utah women this year. Obviously, they're the highest ranking since 2019 when they were sixth in the Week 4 poll. Erin, really appreciate your time on here and talking about the success of the Utes this season, but also best of luck this Friday when you guys travel to the Dellinger Invitational. And of course, the Dellinger Invitational will be broadcasted live on runnerspace.com. So be sure to tune in on Friday morning. Erin, once again, appreciate your time. Best of luck on Friday.
Thank you.